Hey guys, what's up? I'm back at the seed starting table, and today we're starting tomatoes and I am so excited. Today is March 15th and I am starting a whole bunch of tomatoes. I have my tray all ready to go with my markers in it and everything. And I'm gonna get to planting, so I am so excited about these varieties I'm doing this year. I'm also going to be planting some creeping thyme in the remainder of this tray. So that's what we're doing. I am gonna just throw some seeds in some potting soil. I do have my tray filled with potting soil. It is moistened, but it's not sopping wet. And yeah, we're gonna plant some seeds. So I'm doing a bunch of varieties this year. I am growing some for other people, but I am doing just a lot for myself. I'm gonna do probably more tomato plants this year than I have done in the past. Mostly because last year was so not productive for my tomatoes since we moved and I had to move them, that I just want all the tomatoes. So I am growing a lot of like big slicers. These seeds right now I'm doing are Amana orange, and I've already planted Delicious and Firebird. So I am doing a lot of really big slicers. I'm also doing a lot of cherries, which I'm excited about. I have never really done just a ton of cherry tomatoes, and every year I'm like, why don't I plant more cherry tomatoes? So I am doing it this year. I'm planting a bunch of cherry tomatoes and I'm excited. I have a few new varieties to me, which is pretty cool. I'm excited. Like Blueberries, cherries, a new one, Sallisaw Cafe cherry, and Aunt Ruby's yellow cherry are all new to me. There's a cat in the corner of my room digging on something, so that's fun. What do I have here? I have black cherry. These are really good. These are kind of a bigger cherry tomato. They are a purple cherry. They are so good. I actually started baking them. I don't know if anyone has seen that. It went viral like last summer, or maybe the summer before, on TikTok. It's like a feta pasta and you bake like cherry tomatoes with it. I did that with black cherries and it's so good. So I encourage you to try that if you haven't, because it's delicious and it's a great way to use a whole bunch of cherry tomatoes at once. This is the Aussie, which is a large red slicer. I am putting 2 seeds in some of these little cells because I am going to separate these, obviously, when I pot them. So I'm not real worried about them competing for space. They will only be in this tray for, I don't know, probably a couple weeks they'll be in here. Once they germinate, they're gonna go out to the greenhouse. So right now, I actually have my peppers out in the greenhouse and I left them out there last night. It was like 45 degrees last night for the low, and it stayed a little bit warmer than that in the greenhouse. So I felt pretty confident leaving them out there. But I do have to watch the weather and make sure it's not gonna get too cold out there for them, because they're so sensitive to cold. This one is Aunt Ruby's yellow cherry to complement the Aunt Ruby's German green that I will grow forever, because it is one of my favorite tomatoes I've ever had. I know it's weird, like a green tomato, but it's a huge, it looks like this. It's huge. It's a huge slicer. I mean, I had a tomato last year or a couple years ago that was almost 2 pounds from that plant, and they are just so good. This is the Chianti Rose, which is one of my favorites. I will say that about pretty much every tomato I plant today, unless I haven't tried it, because I only grow the stuff I like. I will try new stuff, but I also will grow the same stuff every year because you don't mess with the good thing, you know? So yes, the Chianti Rose are like a pink tomato, and they're so good. This is the Aunt Ruby's German Green. I'm trying to figure out how many of these I'm gonna plant. Ooh, not that many. I am growing plants for other people. Just so no one thinks I'm growing all these myself. I'm not. I'm gonna do more tomatoes this year, but I am not doing all of these myself. So, just before anyone says, that's a lot. It is a lot, but I am not growing all of them, so no need to be concerned. Kellogg's Breakfast. These are similar to the Amana Orange. And then I also have in here the Orange Kentucky Beefsteak. So I'm curious to see how the three of these compare to each other. I love Kellogg's Breakfast. It is so, it's so meaty. It has a lot of meat to it, which I really appreciate. I don't love when there's just a lot of seeds and that like gel. I mean, it's fine, but I prefer a tomato that has more meat to it. These are the Carbon, which these tomatoes, if you are a fan of the Cherokee Purple, try the Carbon, because in my opinion, these are better than the Cherokee Purple by leaps and bounds. Now, I know that Cherokee Purple, you can, you know, buy started plants of more readily now. But if you're starting seeds anyway, then you should try the Carbon because it is so good. It has almost like a smoky flavor. These are the Blueberries, cherry. I don't know where anything goes. I put them in alphabetical order. So that way when I go to pop them and mark them, I don't get myself confused. Which apparently happened last year because I ended up giving Katie a plant that was marked as Amana Orange, but it was a red tomato. So I think it was probably like an Abe Lincoln because I did grow those last year. These are white tomasols. These were actually the free seed from Baker Creek last year at some point, like last spring maybe. Ooh, I don't need that many. They are pretty good. I did grow these last year and I did get a few, but I didn't, I really liked them, but I was not super impressed with the size. But I think the problem may have been because they were in a grow bag, that they did not get as big as they should have. So I'm gonna try them again and we're gonna see how they do this year. I don't like to immediately say I'm not growing that again after 1 year if it is something that I think I could change, like where I planted or something like that. If I just don't like the tomato, then that's different. But these are triple crop. So we're gonna try the white tomasol again. There are a few things that I will not grow again that I've tried and I don't like. So I am not afraid to rule something out, but this is Paul Robeson. This is another purple tomato and I've heard rave things about this. I grew it last year, but again, it was in a grow bag and it didn't do super great. I think I got maybe a handful of tomatoes off the plant the whole summer, but it was not in the ideal growing conditions. So I'm trying it again and I'm not afraid to say that maybe moving my tomato plants wasn't the best idea, but it's okay. I did get a lot of cherry tomatoes. I moved those and I actually ended up putting those in the ground and I did get quite a few of those. but the big ones struggled hardcore. This is the Orange Kentucky Beefsteak. And Katie actually gave me these seeds. They came from Ohio Heirloom Seeds, which I had never heard of, but she found them online and ordered these and then gave them to me. So we're gonna try these. And I think these will be a good competitor for the Kellogg's Breakfast and the Amana Orange. This is the Abe Lincoln. These are just like they're not really like a beefsteak size, but they are like a slicer size, a red tomato. I didn't grow these for myself last year. I did grow them, but I didn't end up with any in my garden. So I am gonna keep one of these this year and see what I think. The Isis Candy Cherry. These are, did I grow these last year? I did. These were really nice. They're like a yellowy cherry, but then they also have, I just picked up all the seeds, okay. They have like a red bottom. I'm trying to grow like a rainbow of cherry tomatoes this year. So we have the Blonde Girl Cherry. These are so good. If you are looking for a really good yellow cherry tomato, like a small tiny one, this one is wonderful. These do not like to be very moist when you sow them. So when I put these in the soil and I spray the potting soil, I'm not gonna spray these. I'm gonna let them stay a little bit more dry. They prefer to be a little drier when they germinate, but they're delicious. San Marzano, always a classic. I have to plant these every single year. I don't necessarily grow like paste tomatoes like to make things with, but I do grow these because they are delicious and they really have a nice flavor to them. So I do grow those. Sun Gold, which is, the packet's open, which indicates to me that I've grown these before, but I thought I bought this plant last year. Maybe I didn't. Oh no, wait. Okay, what? Okay, no, maybe I didn't. I don't know. I don't know. I know I had one of these last year, but I don't know if I grew it or if I bought it. I know that this is a variety that you can buy more readily now. I know our local nursery carries Sun Gold. And then the last variety is Salisaw Cafe. This is a red cherry tomato. I'm not usually a fan of red cherry tomatoes. Every one I've grown, I haven't really liked. So so I bought a new variety to try. And we'll see what we think, I guess. I don't know. And then the only other thing I'm gonna plant in here, because I had extra room, is some of this creeping thyme. So we moved in our house last summer and it does not have any sort of like ground cover, like mulch or anything in the landscaping. It's just dirt, which is weird. So we decided we were gonna plant creeping thyme in like as a ground cover. So I'm just gonna sprinkle some of these seeds. And these seeds are so tiny that, I mean, they're like poppy seeds, you know, they're so small. And then just kind of press them into the soil. You don't really have to even cover these up, just kind of press them in. So this stuff blooms, and it says bee friendly on the back, which is cool. Yeah, so we'll see if these come up. Just a side note, I hate these packets. These came from Rural King, they're the Livingston. I hate these because they hang, so you have to open them from the bottom. So just a note, I hate them. So all I'm gonna do now is just spray them and then put them on the heat mat. So the tomatoes are started. I'm so excited. I should have some germination in the next few days. And then once everything has come up in this tray, they're gonna go out to the greenhouse. Assuming the weather stays cooperative, they'll go out there. So, very exciting day. Spring has sprung. Seed starting is well underway. I think next week I'm gonna start some herbs, like some basils and stuff like that, and then flowers. And then I think I'll have pretty much everything started. So yes, very exciting times ahead, friends. We have made it to spring, and I can't wait to share my garden with you this year. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.